Taking a look at the trading week beginning August 5th, it feels obvious to talk about what we're going to be looking at the start of next week, and that's the move in yields and stocks. Does it continue? Now let's talk about yields first. We had not only a double-digit move in yield, but the two-year yield fell 44 basis points in a week, from 436 to 392. Five-year, 39 basis points. The 10-year went from 420 below 4% for the first time since February and down to 383. That's a drop of 37 basis points. 30-year 445 to 415, dropping 30 basis points on the yield side. And the 2s, 10s inversion, -9. Now, you can go do your own research onto what may be happening when you see a yield curve that's been inverted for this long, turning back and normalizing, and that's going to be very important to look at. Also, obviously, it was a risk asset sell-off, and based off that new risk asset sell-off, we got a new high in gold. Silver and copper struggled. All of this is starting to be a scenario where they're pricing in the markets multiple Fed rate cuts, which is sort of a be careful what you wish for situation. And this is when over half of the S&P 500 have reported earnings, and earnings are 4.4% above estimates, but that estimate is below the 5-year average and below the 10-year average in terms of overall earnings. So things are just a little bit weak. We want to keep an eye on both of those things to see if they continue. We're also going to be looking at Fed speak next week. Now, for now, all we've got on the calendar is San Francisco Fed President Mary Daly and Richmond Fed President Thomas Barkin, both influential. However, you should be aware that more speakers can emerge, and if they do, you want to pay attention to what they say based off of what we just had happen at the end of last week. Earnings again next week. We get 599 companies with over $1 billion in market cap reporting, including 30% of the Russell 2000. So talking about that sector rotation from tech into the Russell. And we get some really big names like Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, Amgen, Gilead Sciences, CVS Health, Walt Disney, Sony Group, Airbnb, Shopify, Uber, Duke Energy, and Caterpillar. In terms of data, Sunday night, Bank of Japan meeting minutes and China Caixin Composite and Services PMI. Monday, small to medium size and composite and services PMI revisions for Germany, the EU, the UK, and the US. And we get ISM Services PMI in the US. Tuesday, EU retail sales data and US economic optimism index. Wednesday, Japanese coincident index and the Bank of Canada meeting minutes. Thursday, U.S. jobless claims and China consumer confidence and business inflation data. And then Friday, German inflation data and Canadian unemployment data all due.